Almost time to rally in the valley. But first, it's the Matsu Miners pregame show, brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. Good evening and welcome inside Crowder Memorial Park in Fairbanks, Alaska. A two-game series between the Matsu Miners and the Alaska Goldpanners of Fairbanks. I'm Austin Pollack with Emma Tiedemann. It took about 7 hours to get here this morning, but we are ready to go. The Miners are ready to go, and they try to just keep on winning, and it's just so important right now. These next two games are just beyond important, especially for the Miners, because they have to build ground on the Pilots. Pilots are now 4 games back, and we're getting to that time where it's like starting to think about, okay, now, what has to be done in order to clinch that last spot? There's really so much that's being thought about with that right now, and last night it was a big game really for the Miners. It was the Bats, a 13-6 win against the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, and Sebi Romo really came in, and in that spot start pitched pretty darn well, and it really seems like he's comfortable in that spot, but really it was the offense. He got plenty of run support, 2 grand slams in the game, 1 for Cameron Frost, 1 for Cam Newell, and it seems like these guys are really just the main guys right now, and they seem to be hitting the ball well, using all parts of the field, and in these next 2 games expect to see a lot, and I mean a lot, of home runs and pretty deep, especially to left field, 290 feet down that left field line. There is the entire I guess you could say the original outfield fence is painted blue, but over the years, the Panners have decided to now put a chain-linked fence in left field, and if the ball goes over that fence, that is a home run. 290 feet down the left field line, but 328 down the right field line, and that chain-link fence goes pretty much all the way from the left field corner all the way to right center field. And we're almost ready to go. Ben Taylor and Mike Grahovic, the managers for the Miners and the Panners, respectively, they are turning in their lineup cards at home plate. We are almost ready to go. Ryan Hendricks gets the start tonight, and for Hendricks, he's had 2 back-to-back pretty solid, reliable starts. And again, it's just so crucial that he comes in and really pitches well and to the best he's capable of. And we'll bring in Emma. Emma, it's crunch time right now. And, I mean, the Miners have played well. They really have. But this is a test. And likely, if they are to make it to the top of the World Series, this is, again, likely the team they're going to face.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that, this last 2 weeks, it's going to be a really tough schedule. They face the Bucks. They face the Panners. They face these really difficult teams in the ABL. It's no longer, 3 or 4 games a week with the Chinooks. It's playing some of the best teams in the ABL. And I think that these games, like you said, are very important. I think the pitching part of the Miners game is going to be the most important part. Not really concerned about the bats, especially here in Fairbanks. During batting practice, they were betting each other how many balls they could hit out of the park, and I don't think it's going to be a huge problem. It's going to be the pitching.
Oh no, I certainly agree, and I think the main thing is we're going to see home runs from guys who really aren't very big home run hitters, and we'll run you through the lineup that Ben Taylor has turned in tonight. Paul Panaccione, the shortstop out of Grand Canyon, he leads it off. Cam Newell bats second in right field. Big night for him last night. Johnny Loker is the designated hitter. He bats third. Josh Meyer from Grand Canyon bats in the cleanup spot. He's behind the plate. Cameron Frost from Washington State. He's in center field. Hit a grand slam last night. Matthew Decker bats sixth at first base from Stanford. Terrence Connolly bats seventh at second base from UNC Wilmington. Jordan Rogers bats eighth at third base out of Tennessee. And Dane Wunderlich, it's been a while since we've seen Wunderlich. He is in the ninth spot playing left field, and that is all against the right-hander the left-hander from out of Pepperdine. Just was a redshirt freshman this past season. He's from Oxnard, California. It is Jason Valadez, 5'10", 160-pound lefty. And the Miners, it's so hard. I mean, we haven't really seen the Panners. I mean, we saw 2 innings of them, and that's about it. They can hit. That's something that's really good for them. And if anybody happens to have seen their stats are really, really impressive, but that's on paper. I personally don't think that's exactly how it really is, because I'd say probably half of their season right now is those non-league games against like the Monarchs and the Seals and teams like that, the teams that the Miners really played well against. And then the other part is their ballpark. I mean, those are it's such a hitter's park, and really it could really go either way. You're either gonna hit well here, and it's like, hey, here's a good ballpark, come and hit, let's see what you got, or it's just gonna be a pitcher's duel. But I don't see that happening, especially with the way the Miners bats. I mean, 13 runs yesterday. These guys just do they hit. It's like every night they hit. The bats really have not been quiet. Maybe for like I don't know 2 or 3 games, that's when you could call these bats quiet. But I think the real key for tonight's game is Ryan Hendricks, and if he can have a strong start against a powerful and just an excellent hitting team like the Panthers, the Miners have a shot. And I think the main thing is they just got to find a way to win. I'm sure anybody down on the field would say, no, we got to win 2 games. They definitely need to win 1. It's just so important right now.
Yeah, they need to win at least one. I'm one of those people where they need to win both. And you can't forget, the Miners bats are really great too, but the Panthers, even though, this ballpark is small, they've been playing more of out-of-league teams, they did just smoke the Pilots in all 3 games the Pilots played up here, including a 26-7 win over the Pilots. And the Pilots have, given the Miners a lot of trouble, especially at Mulcahy Field in Anchorage. And so I think that's something, you can't write them off just because, their field is small and we might expect to see some home runs. This is still going to be a great ball game. And the Panthers, year after year, they're the flagship team of this Alaska Baseball League. And year after year, they bring up the best and the brightest in the college world of the U.S. These are some of the best ball players in the country. And I think, it's definitely going to be a tough game. And, after the Panthers just beat the Pilots so much, that's something you have to take into consideration. Of course, they're up here at their home field in Fairbanks, and home crowd. You gotta, there's little things like that you gotta think of. And the Pilots and Miners games have all been relatively close, neck and neck, and now it's going to be interesting to see the Panthers and the Miners go at it.
Well, the Panthers, they haven't played since Sunday. That was a win, 8-4. It was a doubleheader. They won both games against the Pilots, and I think we know the Pilots. So sometimes you could think about it like, all right, well, the Miners know the Pilots. Here's how the Pilots did against the Panthers. What could happen? I mean, these 2 of them, I guess you could call close games, 6-5 for the Panthers and 8-4 for the Panthers, but then 26-7. No, that's not close. And I think there's so much that can happen, and the Pilots have really been struggling, and they've lost. I think it's 7 in a row now, maybe 8. I think it's 7 though. But the Miners, it's just so crucial for them to come out here, and really, the Panthers haven't played since Sunday. There's a lot of things to consider in this game. It's that Panthers haven't played since Sunday. 2 days off really mean maybe for them, but also for the Miners. They were up before 6 o'clock this morning and made the entire trip up here. It ended up being about 7 hours on the bus. So really, there's just so much going on, and I mean, they were hitting the ball well during batting practice. I think they'll be ready to go. I'm not really concerned about it. As we're going to bring you now inside Browder Memorial Park for the national anthem.
championships in 2004, 2007, 2009, and 2010, the Miners are looking to bring a title back to the Mat-Su Valley.
This is the longest championship drought in 10 seasons.
8 former Miners selected in the 2014 MLB draft, and head coach Ben Taylor is back for another season of baseball in the Valley.
Here we go. Mat-Su Miners baseball on the Miners Radio Network.
2-0 pitch swung on, lifted to center field. Charging is Frost. Frost makes a diving catch. What a play by the center fielder.
Sent out to deep right. Going back is James Navant at the wall. He will watch it go.
High fly ball down the third base side. Going back for it. It's at the wall. Smith rounds first, heads to second. And it's in there standing for a leadoff double.
Here's the pitch. Swing, a high fly ball out to deep left. Back goes Adam Manzer. It's gone! A grand slam, and the Miners walk off with the win. Johnny Loker, welcome to the Valley.
And now, the voice of the Miners, Austin Pollock and Emma Tiedemann on the call right now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into Fairbanks, Alaska. I'm Emma Tiedemann alongside Austin Pollock. And the Miners woke up a little bright and early this morning, was on the road by about 7 a.m. and made the 7-hour trip up north here to Fairbanks. And it's about 64 degrees up here in cloudy after the Panthers have had a couple rainouts with the Chinooks. And the Miners are set to take the field after a big win last night over the Pilots. The Miners won 13-6. Sevi Romo with the win in his spot start, 7 innings pitched, 8 hits, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks, and 4 earned runs. And the Miners scored 13 runs on 11 hits and 1 error. And tonight on the Texas A&M University, Hendricks is throwing to Josh Meyer out of Grand Canyon University. And the bats were hot last night, and a new kind of atmosphere for the Miners. The field here in Fairbanks is a little bit smaller, 280 down the lines, and saw a lot of home runs during BP, and we might see some deep balls tonight. Austin, what are you looking forward to?
Well, I really think the key is Ryan Hendricks. I mean, can he have a third straight solid start? And really for the bats, can they give him the run support? And really, I think it really is more about Hendricks, because this is a really, really good hitting Panthers team, and if they can play him well, then that could be an issue.
And we'll quickly run you through the Miners lineup. Panachone at shortstop, Newell in right field, Loker designated hitting, Meyer catching. Batting fifth is Frost in center field, Decker at first, Conley batting seventh at second base, Rogers batting 8th at third base, and Wunderlich batting 9th in left field. And leading things off is Paul Panachone out of Grand Canyon University. Panachone steps into the right-handed batter's box. A wide open stance. Steps in and evens his stance. Looks to the pitcher, Jason Valadez. And here's the first pitch. Called strike on that outside part of the plate. Strike one. Panachone checks in with 12 RBIs, 9 doubles, and 1 triple. 1-0 pitch. 0-1 pitch, is lifted, fouled on the first base side. Quickly 0-2, and Panachone last night scored 3 runs, had an RBI single, but was walked twice and struck out swinging once. Here's the 0-2 pitch by Valadez. It's outside, ball 1.
Panachone checks in at 311. He's been on base in 29 of the 31 games he's appeared in.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Panachone. Pitch by Valadez is lifted, foul again down the first base side. Stays alive with a 1-2 count.
Miners with the green tops, and the Panthers, I think they're actually just T-shirts, but they are red and yellow numbers and letters.
1-2 pitch is high, ball 2.
It's actually black numbers, but a yellow outline.
Outline, yeah.
Quite windy here as well, if you can't tell.
2-2 pitch. It's outside, but called strike 3. Panachone not happy about that call, and Panachone goes down with the first strikeout of the night, and he was in the same situation last night, struck out swinging to lead it off in the first. That's one away. Brings up Cam Newell, the right fielder.
I'm watching Chris Paulino, the right fielder. He's taking a few steps back, and that's probably not a bad idea.
Very windy here in Fairbanks. First pitch to Newell is inside, called ball 1. Newell checks in, hitting .383, 7 home runs, 35 RBIs, and 7 doubles. Had a grand slam last night in the 8th inning. 1-0 pitch to Newell is swung on and lifted high and foul on the first base side, and a lefty-lefty matchup between Valadez and Newell.
After the game, I was talking with Cam Newell, and before I even said anything, he kind of just said to me, he goes, this is so new. Like, all this power, the 7 home runs, the 3 grand slams, it's so new.
1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Low and away at ball 2.
Now, these jerseys for the Panners, the number stretches pretty much from the shoulder blades all the way down to the lower back. For the Miners, it's more just centered right around the middle back.
Newell steps in and sets. 2-1 pitch by Valadez is fouled back. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. In the outfield for the Panners, Hayes in left, Hurst in center field, and Polino in right field. Villanueva at third base, Nolf at shortstop, Mildenberg at second base, and Pinkston at first base. Wieland behind the plate, catching for Valadez. Here's a 2-2 pitch, is lifted into shallow left field. Going back for it is the third baseman Villanueva, and makes the catch for out number 2.
You know, now that we've seen a couple balls come off the bats, I'm able to say that this is although you can tell we're very, very high up here, this is a very good view, I have to say. This is probably the best view in the ABL.
I do like the one at Herman Brothers, though. I think they're tied.
I think it's about depth perception, where if there's a ball hit, like sometimes a home run from Newell, it's tough to see at Herman Brothers, but here it's going to be very clear.
Brings up Johnny Loker, the designated hitter. First pitch is outside, but called strike.
Good slider from Valadez.
A lot of these outside balls being called strikes tonight. I'll watch that outside part of the strike zone, and Loker with an 0-1 count. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss in the dirt. Strike 2. Loker went through a little stretch of swinging a lot and striking out a lot, but the past, I'd say 3 or 4 games has really slowed that down. 0-2 pitch, called strike 3. That's a 3-pitch strikeout for Johnny Loker, and 2 strikeouts in the inning for Valadez. 3 up, 3 down, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. As we head to the bottom of the first, still scoreless. You're listening to the Matsu Miners Radio Network. Back here at Fairbanks, still scoreless through the top of the first. Here at the bottom of the first, Ryan Hendricks on the mound for the Miners. Hendricks out of Texas A&M University, the right-handed pitcher. He's been pretty consistent his past 2 games and looking to have a fourth start here. Excuse me, his 7th start. First pitch to Scott Hurst, the center fielder, is low and away, ball 1. Hendricks definitely has that potential to be that number 2 starter behind Tyler Stubblefield. 1-0 pitch, inside and low, ball 2.
Hendricks has had 2 very, very back-to-back solid starts. I mean, really solid. He looked really good.
Hendricks looks into his catcher, Josh Meyer. Wind up, and the 2-0 pitch is lined to the third baseman, Jordan Rogers, gets in his glove, then pops out. And Scott Hurst with the lead-off hit. That'll probably be ruled a hit. We'll wait on the official scoring, but the Banners now with a lead-off batter at first base. Hendricks with the 1-1 record, 27 innings pitched, 23 hits, 16 runs, 15 of those were earned, 18 walks, and 31 strikeouts. This is his 7th game to start with an ERA of 5, but I think that strikeout number is definitely something to keep your eye on. First pitch to Chris Polino. Shows bunt, pulls back. Ball 1.
Paulino was the guy just a couple games ago that really seemed to sort of put him on everybody's radar. Paulino on July 12th was 4 for 5 and had 2 grand slams in the same inning and had 9 RBIs. Same inning, 2 grand slams. That's 100% correct.
Checks in with 4 home runs, 19 RBIs on the season, and 5 doubles, hitting .340. 1-0 pitch, shows bunt, puts it down the third base side. Charging is Rogers, scoops it up, throw to first. But Decker drops it as Paulino runs into Matthew Decker, and Hurst moves to third, and Paulino is safe at first. So that's now 2 base runners in a row for the Miners. And it's nothing, really that Hendricks is doing. It's his infielders. But that was a tough play by Rogers, and he got the throw off in time, but Paulino ran into Matthew Decker's glove. I think that's the reason it fell out. He wasn't expecting it. And that brings up Cody Nolf, the shortstop. Nolf steps into the right-hander's batter's box. Swings the bat over home plate, puts it above his head. And the first pitch is a little outside, but called strike 1. Nolf checks in with 7 home runs, 30 RBIs, 7 doubles, and 1 triple, hitting .375. Hendricks sets. 0-1 pitch. Runner goes at second. Throw in to Conley at second base. He's out. As Chris Paulino. And that's actually going to be overruled and called safe. So Paulino now at second base with the steal, and Scott Hurst at third, the leading run at third base, and Cody Nolf at the plate with the 0-2 count.
Yeah, that ball just came right out of Terrence Connolly's glove, and hats off to Chris Paulino. He was keeping a close eye on that and jumped right back on the bag, and he's safe.
Runners on second and third. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Outside in the dirt, but Meyer keeps it in front of him and holds the runners.
Cody Nolf has a 19-game hit streak.
Nolf steps back into the box.
3 homers in his last 4 games.
Taps the plate. His hands are about just a little higher than his right ear. As he sets, Hendricks with an eye on his runners on base. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Blown away, ball 2, but Meyer is able to catch it. Keep the ball in play.
That's huge right there for Josh Meyer. That saves a run, and really, he and Hendricks seem to be on the same page for the most part, I think, and Meyer is just such a great catcher defensively as well. He's great with the bat, but defensively it's plays like that. He just sticks that backhand out, and he's able to that's huge. I mean, it saves a run early on.
Meyer and Hendricks talking things over on the mound, and now Meyer will head back to the plate. Nolf moving the dirt around in the batter's box. Outfield playing straight away. Hendricks sets for the 2-2 pitch. There's a pitch, and it's fouled off I think it's a foot of the home plate umpire. He's going to walk it off. Can't tell if it is his hand or his foot.
He's telling Ben Taylor came out of the dugout, maybe to check on him, and he's just waving Ben off, saying, oh, I'm good. But now everybody coming in just to make sure he's okay.
That gives Josh Meyer time to head out to the mound to talk things over with Ryan Hendricks. Dane Wunderlich out in left field, playing a little bit deep. Frost in center. Newell in right, playing in just about his usual spot. And it's kind of hard to judge exactly where it's their usual spots in this ballpark. We'll quickly go over the infield. Rogers is at third, Panachone at short, Conley at second base, and Decker at first, with Meyer behind the plate doing the catching for Hendricks. Tie ball game at 0 runs apiece here in the bottom of the first. Scott Hurst on third with a lead, quite a lead off of third base. Polino on second. Cody Nolf at the plate with a 2-2 count. Here's the pitch by Hendricks, and it's lined into left field and just goes foul. Nolf stays alive with the 2-2 count.
I've noticed that Hendricks is really, really good with 2 strikes, and I think that's a benefit he has tonight coming into this game, especially with a lineup for the Panthers that can hit so well. As soon as he gets 2 strikes, I think he's on the same page as Josh Meyer, and he's going to know exactly what to throw.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Hendricks checks his base runners. Here's the pitch. It's ground ball to the first base side. That's foul again. Runners have to go back to their bases. Hurst at third, Polino at second. Two balls, 2 strikes, and nobody out here in the bottom of the first. Hendricks gets the sign from Meyer. Here's the pitch. It's lifted in the infield, foul. Calling for it is Meyer, and Rogers, the third baseman, comes in and calls Meyer off of it, makes the catch, 1 away.
Big out right there with runners on first and second. If there's a ground ball, I would expect the infield maybe to be in, and just to keep an eye on where those runners are going.
So 2 runners on with 1 out. That brings up Vaughn Bazoian, the designated hitter. 7 home runs, 28 RBIs, 9 doubles on the season, no triples. Right-handed batter. Just about smack dab in the middle of that batter's box. First pitch by Hendricks, swing and a miss. Actually, that's going to be a foul ball. 0-1 count now to Bazoian. 337 average.
Cameron Frost very deep in center field. But Bazoian's got power.
Hendricks sets. 0-1 pitch is grounded fair down the third base side. Backhanded by Rogers. Makes the throw across the diamond to Matt Decker at first base, and that's 1 away. But Scott Hurst is able to make it home for the first run of the game. But Bazoian thrown out with a 5-3 put out.
And, there's nothing wrong with that. Right now your focus is just get runs. It's early, and these bats are just so good for the Miners. They're going to find a way to score runs, and it may not be the second inning. It may be the third. It may not. They will find a way to get runs. They don't like to be down.
That brings up Tanner Pinkston, the lefty. The open stance in the back of the batter's box. First pitch right over the plate, called strike 1. Pinkston with 2 home runs, 22 RBIs, 6 doubles, 1 triple.
Pinkston out of Cal State Fullerton just finished his sophomore year. 6'6", 235.
Waves the bat. 0-1 pitch. Little inside and high, ball 1.
He reminds me a lot of Casey Gillespie, whose older brother Connor, I believe, is in the White Sox organization. Casey was recently drafted by the Tampa Bay Rays in the first round.
1-1 pitch is low and inside, ball 2.
Casey is just so big. I think he's 6'5", and a lot of power, and he can hit the ball really to every part of the ballpark, and not just for home runs, but even for extra base hits.
2-1 pitch by Hendricks. The outside part of the plate called strike 2.
Now, I think now having 2 outs for Hendricks is really, I don't think he was really rattled. I think he was pretty calm for the most part, but he just seems more dialed in right now and a little bit more confident, I think.
Has the sign from Meyer. Check on second. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Outside part of the plate called strike 3. And so 1 run scores on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. The Panners lead the Miners 1-0 as we head to the top of the 2nd inning. You're listening to the Mat-Su Miners Radio Network. Leading off for the Miners, that is Josh Meyer, the Miner, here in the top of the 2nd. I'm Emma Tiedemann alongside Austin Pollock, and the Miners trail 1-0 here in the top of the 2nd. Meyer doing the catching tonight for Ryan Hendricks. Steps in the batter's box. First pitch by Valadez is fouled off for strike 1. Meyer with 1 home run, but looking for more. 7 RBIs, 5 doubles, and 2 triples. Meyer, talking with him, is very excited to play in what he called a hitter's ballpark last night on the postgame interview against the Pilots. He was our player of the game. Checks in with a 274 average. 0-1 pitch. An outside part of the plate, but ball 1.
Yeah, I think now that we have such a, perhaps a better view of really the entire field, I've noticed that Meyer's stance is much more open than really we're used to seeing.
See if fouls the pitch back for the 1-2 count.
And it's probably been that way. It's just now that we have a better view, we're able to actually see it. I knew he had his legs pretty far apart, but I didn't really realize how open it was.
He holds the bat over his head, waving it, and here's the 1-2 pitch. Outside part of the plate called strike 3. That is the 3rd strikeout of the game by Jason Valadez, and all 3 strikeouts have been looking. No strikeout swinging yet. That brings up Cameron Frost, the center fielder. Frost with a grand slam last night. Also with the open stance, the right-handed batter. First pitch by Valadez is high, ball 1.
Frost has 6 extra base hits in his last 6 games. 3 doubles, 2 triples, and a grand slam.
1-0 pitch by the lefty. Lifted deep into center field. Going back for it is Hurst. Going and gone for a solo home run by Cameron Frost, the center fielder, that ties things up at 1 run apiece.
That was a shot dead center over the batter's eye, and it's actually not, there are no signs here of how deep it is, especially to dead center, but he hit that over the batter's eye, completely out of the ballpark.
That brings up Matt Decker, the first baseman. Things tied up at 1 run apiece here in the top of the 2nd. with 1 out. First pitch is outside, called ball 1. Decker with 2 home runs, 12 RBIs, and 4 doubles. Decker had a single last night. 1-0 pitch is low, ball 2. Decker hitting .258 out of Stanford University, along with Johnny Loker, the designated hitter tonight. 2-0 pitch, outside and high, ball 3. Decker now quickly up in the count, 3 balls, no strikes. Valadez with the windup for the 3-0 pitch, catches that outside part of the plate, called strike 1. Outfield for the Panners playing a little bit deep, especially left fielder Hayes. 3-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Now full count for Matthew Decker.
I think this would be a good opportunity for that foul ball, and it's certainly possible. There's no window here. It's completely open.
That's true. 3-2 pitches, high, ball 4. First base runner of the inning. Base runner that's going to stay on first base. Frost, just passed by it after he hit that home run.
Just a quick little,
Little
jog,
tap.
just a jog around the bases,
And that brings up second baseman Terrence Conley. Conley, the lefty, so lefty versus lefty with Valadez. Check at first. First pitch is ground ball down the first base side. Almost hits Decker in the base path. That gets down into right field with a first pitch swing and a single.
I said this in the bottom of the first when the Panners struck first. It was 1-0. I said, you know what, these Miners, they don't like to be down. They're going to find a way to come back. And although it's tied right now with 1 out, you got runners on first and second. And Rogers, who's really been hitting the ball well and hit it well during batting practice, coming to the plate.
Rogers with 10 RBIs and 4 doubles out of the University of Tennessee. Last night had a single and reach on a fielder's choice. Scored a run off of a walk. Rogers sets. First pitch, ground ball up to the center field. Decker heading to third. Conley rounds second. Decker rounds third, heads home. And taps home plate for the leading run. The Miners now lead 2-1 with Conley at third and Rogers at first with the RBI single.
There, I said it. He's really been working hard, trying to come back, and really he's just fighting for more playing time, and that's certainly going to help. He just slaps that ball right through the hole, exactly where he needs to hit it to get that run in. Good piece of hitting by Rogers, and he's been working hard. He's been spending a lot of time in the cage, and he hit the ball well during batting practice.
That brings up Dane Wunderlich, the left fielder out of Rice University. Right-handed batter with a slightly open stance. Nothing as drastic as Meyer or Terrence Conley. First pitch swung on and fouled back for strike 1. Wunderlich checks in with 1 home run but has a lot of power. See that a lot with batting practice. Actually had a bet with Mitchell now of who could hit the most home runs during batting practice. Wunderlich with 11 RBIs and 6 doubles. Pitch high, ball 1.
Wunderlich hasn't played since July 7th. That was against the Chinooks. Went 1 for 5 with a double. But in the last 3 games he's played, and he has 7 RBIs.
Wunderlich waves the bat. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Low for ball 2. Conley at third. Rogers at first. Frost scored on the solo home run. Decker scored off of a walk. RBI single by Rogers. 2 balls, 1 strike to Wunderlich. Here's the pitch by Valadez. Outside, ball 3. Wunderlich's hometown is Brenham, Texas, home of Bluebell ice cream. Any true Texan knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm not a true Texan.
Nope.
Bostonian all day.
3-1 pitch is outside, but called strike. Now another full count for the Miners with Dane Wunderlich at the plate. Decker worked the count full. His at bat earlier in the inning and reached on a walk. Here's the 3-2 pitch. It is lifted foul. Dane Wunderlich stays alive with the 3-2 count. Looks down the third base side to signs from third base coach Ben Taylor. Belladez sets, looks over at first, back at home. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Low and away, ball 4, and that loads the bases with Wunderlich at first with the walk. Rogers now at second after the RBI single. And Conley at third, still, he reached on a single. So now that is 5 straight base runners for the Miners. And back to the top of the order with Paul Panachone, and that warrants a visit out by the pitching coach for the Panners. Valadez and Wieland on the mound talking things over.
Pretty long meeting for Ken Hokiff, the Panners pitching coach. It's turned into actually a pretty long meeting, and now the home plate umpire is actually dusting off home plate, or around home plate instead. Thought maybe he was going to go out there.
And Wieland heads back to the plate. Panachone at the dish, 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the first inning. Struck out looking. 12 RBIs and 9 doubles, 1 triple. Right-handed batter. Here's the first pitch from Valadez. Breaking ball right over the plate, called strike. Panachone waves the bat over the plate, pulls it back. 0-1 pitch is low and in the dirt, ball 1. Panachone hitting .311 with the bases full of Miners, and the Miners lead 2-1 here in the top of the second inning with 1 out. That was Josh Meyer, the lead off the inning with a strikeout. 1 ball and 1 strike to Panachone. Here's the pitch. Lifted just foul on the first base side. Charging is Pinkston. Calls for it and makes the catch in foul territory. Conley thinks about heading home, but decides to back it up and stay at third base. So that is now 2 away here in the top of the second. Brings up Cam Newell. Newell with 3 grand slams on the season, including 1 last night against the Pilots. And the stage is set for him again to hit one right now. Conley at third.
If it happens.
Rogers at second. Wunderlich at first. Lefty versus lefty with Valadez. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to the second baseman. Mildenberg scoops it up and makes it throw to first. No grand slam, but the third out of the inning. But 2-run score off of 2 hits. No errors and 3 left on as we head to the bottom of the second. The Miners lead 2-1. You're listening to the Mat-Su Miners Radio Network. Bottom of the second, and the Miners lead 2-1. Ryan Hendricks still on the mound for the Miners. At the plate is Jacob Hayes, a center fielder. 0-1 count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Miners scored 2 in the top of the second. Painters scored 1 in the top of the first. 0-2 pitch by Hendricks. High and inside, ball 1. Hendricks takes a deep breath, and the wind, you can't hear it in the crowd mic. It is picking up, but blowing straight out center field. 1-2 pitch is outside, ball 2. Frost playing a few steps to our left. Wonderlic playing a little deep in left field. 2-2 pitch is line drive fouled on the third base side. Stays alive with a 2-2 count. Hayes with 5 home runs, 31 RBIs, 8 doubles, and 3 triples. Two-two pitch by Hendricks is lifted into shallow left field. Charging is Wonderlic, gets under it, and makes the catch. Out number 1. So 1 away here in the bottom of the second. Brings up Hunter Villanueva, the third baseman. Villanueva, the right-handed batter. Steps in. First pitch by Hendricks, swinging a foul ball straight behind us for strike 1. Villanueva with his back foot, his right foot on the back line of the right-hander's batter's box. Taps the plate and also tapped his right quad. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Right to the plate, called strike. Beautiful pitch by Ryan Hendricks. Villanueva with 2 home runs, 15 RBIs, 2 doubles, 1 triple. Here's the 0-2 pitch by Hendricks. Little inside, ball 1. Conley, the second baseman, playing a little bit into that outfield grass. Infield is turf with the obvious gold infield. 1-2 pitch is high and inside, evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Just beyond the left field fence is the Fairbanks Curling Club.
We're picking up their Wi-Fi actually here. 2-2 pitch by Hendricks. Lifted, fouled on the first base side.
Well, I'm wondering if that's the same curling that I'm thinking of with the brooms and whatever that.
And the Olympics?
The brooms and the stones. I learned a lot about curling when I interned for the Olympics.
Well, you know, I think we're far enough north that they do that. 2-2 pitch, lined into left field. That gets down for a base hit. Villanueva with a big turnaround first, but decides to head back, and that's the first base runner of the inning. That brings up Mike Wieland, the catcher tonight. A lefty, has his bat on his shoulder and getting the signs from his third base coach. Steps in.
I would not be surprised to see Villanueva off here.
First pitch to Wieland. Right over the plate, called strike. And Wieland with his very similar batting stance to Villanueva, but just mirrored on the left side. Has his back foot on his back left foot on that back chalk. Villanueva's off. Swing and a miss. Throw by Meyer. Conley can't catch it. Villanueva safe at second, but Wieland at the plate with the 0-2 count.
Yeah, that's the 5th stolen base of the summer for Hunter Villanueva. It was a good time for him to go, and had great job by Josh Meyer to get the throw down there. It was a good throw, but Villanueva just a little too fast, and it's a good time because there's one out and you want to break up that double play possibility.
0-2 pitch, swung on, lifted in the infield. Falling forward is the second baseman, Terrence Conley. Under it, makes the catch, 2 away.
And a big second out right there. Because now you got the number 9 man coming to the plate.
Brings up Tyler Mildenberg. Playing at second base tonight. 1 home run, 9 RBIs, 1 double, 1 triple, hitting .279. Another lefty in the Panners lineup. Hendricks sets. Check at first. First pitch right over the plate, called strike 1.
Well, the Miners are probably the most righty-heavy lineup in the ABL. They only have really just 2 true left-handed batters in Cam Newell and Terrence Connolly. I'm sure a couple guys could.
Hendricks.
I'm sure a couple guys could realistically bat left-handed. In Johnny Loker's profile picture on Twitter, he's actually batting left-handed for Stanford.
Hendricks sets the 0-1. Outside, ball 1. We noticed, the lefty heavy lineup in Kenai against the Oilers when Tyler Stubblefield had another outstanding game. The lefty versus lefty matchup. 1-1 pitch by Hendricks. Foul ball just to our left, out of play.
Lands right on top of the Panners' third base dugout and pops off. It's pure cement right on top.
The free-for-all for all the kids chasing it. See some Yankees hats and an Orioles cap. Yankees jerseys.
That might be some Fairbanks Little League thing that's here. There are names on the back, too, and numbers. Not a very big crowd on the first base side. We know they can get some big crowds here in Fairbanks.
Especially that midnight sun game. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 3. Second strikeout of the night and third out here in the bottom of the second. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on as we head to the top of the third. The Miners lead 2-1 over the Panners. You are listening to the Mat-Su Miners Radio Network.
Johnny Loker to start the top of the third here in Fairbanks. Miners lead the Panners 2-1. Johnny Loker, Josh Meyer, Cameron Frost, 3, 4, and 5 against the lefty Jason Balades. Miners' bats have been hot in this one, as is Ryan Hendricks on the mound. Balades looks in, pivots, kicks, fires first pitch to Loker. It's fastball a little high, ball 1. Johnny 0 for 1. He struck out looking in the first inning. 1 for 4 and scored 2 runs in last night's game. 1-0 pitch. Fastball fouled off the mask of Mike Whelan, the catcher, and goes to the backstop. 1-1 on Johnny Loker. Started tonight at .358 with 3 homers, 7 RBIs. Balades kicks, fires the 1-1. Hard grounder foul, left side, past the glove of Hunter Villanueva, the third baseman. Goes all the way over, almost near the bullpen for the Panners in that left field corner. Loker now the 1-2 count, taps the plate twice. Little waggle of the bat, knees bent. Balades pivots, kicks, fires. Swing and popped up high on the infield, but tailing left side and foul ground, and that is the third baseman, Villanueva, who reels it in for out number 1. That'll bring up Josh Meyer, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He led off the second inning, where the Miners scored 2 runs on 3 hits. Meyer out of Grand Canyon. He's hit in 8 of his last 10 games. First pitch from Valdez is off speed, very up and away, 1-0. Center fielder Hurst deep in center. Valdez kicks, fires the pitch. It's fastball low and in to Meyer. 2-0. Windy here in Fairbanks. A little chilly as well. 2-0 pitch from Valdez. Fastball up and away, 3-0. Catcher Whelan tries to say, hey, calm down right now.
I did have to put on my jacket, so it is a little chilly.
I wonder how many layers Ben Taylor is wearing tonight. 3-0 pitch coming from Valdez. Fastball up high, it's a 4-pitch walk. 1 on and 1 out for Cameron Frost. Hit a solo shot in the second inning to dead center. When I say solo shot, that's a shot.
That thing is probably still going right now. This hit's so deep.
Wind also blowing out to center.
Definitely has helped carrying the ball.
Meyer on first. First pitch from Valdez. In the dirt. 1-0. Frost on a 4-game hitting streak. Well, now it's a 5-game hitting streak. 9 for 18. 2 doubles, 2 triples, 2 homers, 7 RBIs. 1-0. Lifted foul right side behind the Miners' first base dugout. Fans give chase. Cloudy skies here in Fairbanks and a 1-1 count on Frost. It was sprinkling just a tad bit when we got to the ballpark, but no precipitation since. Valdez with a check on Meyer at first. Meyer, no steals this summer. Frost points the bat. Holds it still, a little bit of a waggle. 1-1. Broke a breaking ball in the dirt, scooped by Whelan, and it's 2-1.
Hurst playing deep in center field with Hayes playing deep in left as well. And Meyer with his lead off of first base.
Valdez looks into the catcher Whelan for the sign. Meyer still on first. Pinkston holding him on. Looks at second. Delivers the 2-1 home. Swing, fly ball, right side. Going back is Paulino at the track in front of the wall. It's off the scoreboard, and that's a 2-run home run for Cameron Frost. His second home run of the game in the Miners, playing long ball here in Fairbanks. 5th homer of the summer for Cameron Frost.
And it's funny, you describe it as a long ball. We've seen the Miners try and bunt a few times, a few games, play that small ball game. But here they know they can hit those deep balls, and they're just going for it.
And, it's really interesting because it's left field where we expect to see the home runs. 1 to dead center and 1 to right. First pitch breaking ball in there, called strike to Matthew Decker. So the Miners now lead 4-1 in the top of the third. Decker walked and scored on an RBI single by Jordan Rogers in the second. Here's the pitch from Valdez. Breaking ball a little low for ball 1, 1-1 on Decker. Decker riding a 3-game hit streak, 3 for 11. Valdez sets, pivots, kicks. 1-1 is a fastball high, 2-1. Terrence Connolly waits on deck. Valdez looks in. And here's the 2-1 to Decker. Fouled off and broken bat. You saw chips of the bat sort of fly just to the left of that third baseline. So he'll grab some new lumber.
Paul Panachone had a broken bat in batting practice today.
Yeah, that was loud too. Little guy, 5'10", but he hits the ball very hard. So Decker with a new bat, and a 2-2 count and 1 out against the lefty Jason Valadez. Looks in, he kicks, and here's the 2-2 to Matthew Decker. Off speed and very outside, 3-2, a full count. And that looked just like we've seen it, a breaking ball that was let go too early. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Decker. Fouled right back to the screen on a fastball. Getting a lot of comments on the video feed tonight. It's been a while since we've had those comments. 3-2 pitch to Decker. Check swing, but fouled right behind the Miners dugout and over the grandstands. Still 3-2.
Decker worked the count full at his last at bat and was walked. Then scored a run off the RBI single by Jordan Rogers.
Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Called strike 3, and Decker is jogging to first base. But I'm pretty sure the umpire signaled strike 3.
Oh, I think Sean Winston thinks it's a walk too. Huh.
This is very...
That was called a strike clearly and loudly by the home plate umpire, but Decker now with the lead off of first base.
I wonder if the home plate umpire, Tim Davis, knows that he's on first base.
I mean, he has to know.
The pitch to Terrence Connolly is off speed and outside for ball 1. I've never seen that.
I haven't either. Maybe he meant to say ball 4, but then the motion, that kind of situation.
That's pretty rare.
I don't know.
Valdez looked in, 1-0 to Connolly, swinging a fly ball foul just to our left. 1-1 on Terrence out of UNC Wilmington, singled in the second. Terrence has reached base in 9 of his last 10 games entering tonight. Points the bat. Rests it on his shoulder, off his shoulder. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, gets that inside half. 1-2 on Terrence Connolly. Decker's still on first base. He has 2 steals on the summer. Has not been caught. 2's a pretty good number for a catcher, too. Looks at first. 1-2 pitch. Low, 2-2 with a fastball. Miners lead the Panners 4-1 in the top of the third in Fairbanks. Game 1 of a 2-game set between these two teams. 2-2 pitch. Swing, twisting left side, and Cody Nulf, the shortstop, makes an over-the-shoulder catch. Quick throw back to first, but Decker is back. Nice athletic play by the shortstop, Cody Nulf. It was just a floater in shallow left, and Nulf went back and sort of just backpedaled a little bit, and the ball just pretty much went right into his glove. Now 2 down for Jordan Rogers. Rogers singled in the second, drove in Matthew Decker. Probably like to do the same thing here. 2 outs, Decker on first base. Valdez looks at first and delivers home. Fastball gets the outside half. Called strike, 0-1 on Rogers. Outfield straight away, as is the infield. Pinkston holding on Decker at first base. 0-1 pitch to Rogers. Inside, and Decker heads to second. The throw from the Wheelan, but Decker's in. Not a stolen base. That was a wild pitch, because for a second I actually think that I thought it hit Rogers, but I realized it hit, and then it hit right in front of Rogers and then popped up and hit him.
Yeah, I thought that was a hit by pitch also, but yeah, you're right. You know, kind of once you get out of that moment, you realize it bounced before it hit him.
So 1-1 on Rogers. Valdez sets, kicks, 1-1. Chopper left side to Villanueva, scoops it, and fires a strike to first, and just beats Rogers by a step. He doesn't like the call. But the Miners get 2 more, a 2-run home run for Cameron Frost. It's 2 runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on. We're through 2.5. Miners lead the Panners 4-1 on the Matsu Miners Radio Network. 2-run home run for Cameron Frost in the top of the third. Miners add 2 more and lead it 4-1 as we start the bottom of the third. Top of the order, Scott Hurst, Chris Paulino, and Cody Nulf against the righty Ryan Hendricks. First pitch, fastball up and away, ball 1. On Hurst, Hurst singled and scored in the first. 1-0 pitch. Fastball inside. Meyer held it for a while. It doesn't get the call. 2-0. Hurst an 18-game hitting streak. Now 19 with the single in the first. 2-0. Fastball high. 3-0. Hurst was 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored in Game 2 on the 13th against the Pilots. That was a doubleheader. Pitch from Hendricks is a fastball. Gets the inside half for strike 1. 3-1. 3-1 pitch to Hurst. Fastball, low ball 4. Now bring up Chris Paulino. Paulino reached on an error by Decker and then advanced to second on an error by Connolly.
Well, last time the Painters had a leadoff base runner, that was Scott Hurst, of course, and he scored.
Paulino got to second base on an attempted steal, but Connolly, he was actually ruled out at first, and then the ball came out of Connolly's glove. First pitch is a called strike with a fastball to Paulino. Paulino, the right fielder. 6-game hitting streak. He's 12 for 23. Hendricks looks at first, sets, looks again. 0-1. Slapped, left side, foul. And it hits the telephone wire, which is actually in the Panners bullpen.
It's resting on top of that net right across the batting cages.
Paulino from UC Irvine. Bats on the left side, 0-2 pitch. Fly ball left side, tailing foul. And almost caught by someone in the Panners bullpen. Couldn't hold on. Someone wearing a gray hoodie. That is not a Miners pitcher. We know that. They all do wear gray hoodies, but that's a Panners pitcher. 0-2 on Paulino. Hendricks fires to first base. But Hurst is back. Hurst with 4 steals on the summer. Been caught 4 times as well. Nobody out, 0-2 count. Here's the pitch, fastball outside, 1-2. Center fielder Frost is a couple steps in left center. Wunderlich deep in left, but straight away. Same for Newell, but not as deep, but he's straight away. 1-2 on Paulino. Hendricks sets. Here's the pitch. Fastball upstairs, 2-2. More fans filing in here. Still overcast. There are lights here in Fairbanks, but they are not in use right now. Don't really need to be. 2-2. Hendricks checks on first, and Hurst is back. I don't know if it was this year or if it was a couple years ago. I want to say it was this year that during the Midnight Sun game, they did use the lights. 2-2 pitch. Just outside with an off-speed pitch, and I think the home plate umpire, Tim Davis, thought about calling it strike 3, but gives the benefit to Chris Paulino, and it's 3-2. Runner at first is Scott Hurst. He walked. Nobody out, and a 4-1 lead for the Miners in the bottom of the third. Hendricks sets, looks at first. Runner at first is off the pitch. Lined up the middle, but reeled in by the shortstop, Panachone, and they're going to double him up. Wow. You don't see that every day. A ball hit very, very hard. Sharp hit ball right up the middle, right behind the second base bag, and it was hit so hard I thought it was again to center field. But Panachone saw that the runner was off. He was making his way to second base, made the catch, so that's a line out for Paulino. That's little L6 for the first out, and then Hurst is doubled up 6-3 for out number 2. That brings up Cody Nulp, and the first pitch is a called strike, 0-1. Nulp popped out to third in the first.
That was just a great heads-up play by Paul Panachone, the shortstop, realizing that Hurst was going to second.
A one popped up on the infield. Rogers and Meyer give chase. Meyer calls for it and makes the catch in front of the Panners dugout. And Ryan Hendricks escapes from danger. The Panners do trail the Miners now through 3, 4-1. It's no runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. Miners lead the Panners 4-1 through 3 on the Mat-Su Miners Radio Network. Night is done for Jason Valadez. The new pitcher is the righty Mike Benson. This is his first relief appearance. Last pitch July 10th against the Oilers. Got the win. He got 3 hits and 1 earned run in 5 1/3 innings. Walked 5 and struck out 5. So there you go. A little bit of a tendency to be wild. He will face 9-1-2. Dane Wunderlich, Paul Panachone, and Cam Newell. Benson sets it, and here's his first pitch. It's a fastball, little inside for ball 1 to Wunderlich, who walked in the second inning. Benson, a college teammate of Vince Arobia from the University of the Pacific, just finished his junior year. 6'4", 230 pounds. 1-0. Fastball, little upstairs, but called a strike. 1-1. Wunderlich with a look back at home plate umpire Tim Davis. Benson from Prescott, Arizona. Wunderlich waves the bat. 1-1. Fastball in there, called strike, and it's 1-2 on Dane. Dane in left field tonight from Rice University in Houston. Benson sets, takes a deep breath. There's the 1-2. Fastball just outside, 2-2. If you don't already, follow us on Twitter at ABL Miners. We're growing, 235 followers.
It's exciting.
Very proud of that. 2-2 to Wunderlich. Hard grounder to the shortstop. Nolf scoops it up, fires a strike to first, and good stretch from the first baseman Pinkston. And there's one away. Back to the top for Paul Panachone. Paul is 0 for 2. He popped out to first in the second, struck out in the first. Panachone with that elbow base back. First pitch. Fastball in there called strike. Outfield is straight away. Shortstop Cody Nulf was a step or two on the outfield grass. Now he comes in. Off speed, gets the outside half, and it's strike two on Panachone. 0-2. 4-1 game in the top of the fourth. 0-2. Chases fastball outside, but just gets a piece of it and fouls it off. It's 0-2 still. Line done on Valadez. 3 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs. Here's what got him, I think. 4 walks and 3 strikeouts. Hendricks still going strong, and he's pitched really well. 0-2. Popped up just in shallow right behind the second base position, and that is Tyler Mildenberg, who takes care of it for out number 2. Paul now 0 for 3, and that brings up Cam Newell, who's 0 for 2.
Fielder Cam Newell.
It's been the bottom half, really, of the lineup for the Miners that have been producing more so than the top half. But still, 1 through 9 is pretty dangerous.
Yeah, you just really kind of never know what you're going to get. You know, you have those reliable hitters, but some guys some nights just step up and have multiple hits in one game.
First pitch to Newell is fouled right back to our left. It was off speed, and it's 0-1 on Newell.
I think that this is the ballpark that if you're going to catch a foul ball while you're in a broadcast booth, this is your best bet. But I'm warning you, I'll be fighting for that foul ball. So you're not going to get it easy.
You can have it. I really don't care. No, I'm just kidding. I do care.
You do. Don't lie to me.
0-1, fastball outside, 1-1. One and one on Newell with 2 outs. Benson looks in, sets, kicks, 1-1. Fouled off just about the same spot as the first foul ball, 1-2. That was an off-speed pitch from Mike Benson. Two outs, and the Miners lead the Panners 4-1 in the top of the fourth. Benson sets. 1-2 to Newell. Hard liner picked on the backhand by the shortstop. Nelf bobbles it, takes care of it, throws to first. He's safe. Mike Whelan, the catcher, was running to the first base bag behind it to cover the throw, and he couldn't believe it. Infield single for Cam Newell. Extends his hit streak now to 7 games. That brings up Johnny Loker 0 for 2. Loker 10 for 32 in his last now 7 games, including tonight. 0 for 2, popped out to third in the third, struck out in the first. First pitch from Benson. Fastball a little bit low and away, but called a strike, 0-1. Wind really blowing out to center. Benson looks at first, Newell on first. 8 steals on the summer. 0-1, and it looked like he was off, but couldn't get a good jump. Took about maybe 3 steps with his head down and then stopped. Pitch was off speed, low and away, and it's 1-1 on Loker. Pinkston holding him on. 1-1. Johnny fouls it over by Panners on deck circle for third base side, and it's 1-2. Josh Meyer waits on deck. Here's something interesting. Batters 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 have all reached tonight. 1-2, Newell's off. Loker twists one foul just to our right. Fastball from Benson. Looked like Johnny fouled it right from the handle of the bat.
Miners batters 1 through 4 through the first 2 innings, 0 for 7 with a walk and run. 5 through 9, 4 for 6 with 3 runs and 3 walks.
Those 3 runs, Cameron Frost. 1-2. Fastball low and away, 2-2. Those are 3 RBIs. That's what I meant. 2-2 on Loker. Runner on first. Newell with 8 steals. Benson sets. 2-2. Fastball called strike 3. First strikeout for Mike Benson, and the Miners leave a runner on. It's no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on. We're through 3.5. The Miners lead the Panners 4-1 on the Matsu Miners Radio Network. Miners in the bottom of the 4th. Mike Benson with a strong top of the 4th in relief of Drew Valadez, and Von Bazoian, the 4-man, leads off against Ryan Hendricks, Bazoian, Pinkston, and Jacob Hayes against the righty out of Texas A&M. Here's the first pitch. Breaking ball low and away, gets to the backstop. 1-0. Cameron Frost is very, very deep in center. Seagulls are also here in Fairbanks.
They are circling the outfield.
1-0. Chopper to the left side. Rogers scoops it. Makes the long 90-footer to first. 1 away. That brings up Tanner Pinkston.
Up the first baseman, Tanner Pinkston.
Pinkston 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the first. One away. Here's the pitch. Slapped foul, left side. 0-1. Seagulls look to be threatening to come in here. A couple have come close. Here's one.
Well, don't hold out any bread.
0-1, fastball up and in, 1-1.
Actually, that could, add some excitement here in the press box.
That is a
There is a
idea.
dog in here. Did you realize that?
I did.
It's really sweet.
1-1. Pop foul left side again, 1-2.
I don't know what kind of dog it is, but it's a very sweet dog.
One and two on Pinkston. Here's the pitch. Ground ball left side. Rogers takes it and throws 180 feet to first. For out number 2. Brings up Jacob Hayes. Flew out to left in the second.
Left fielder, Jacob Hayes.
So Hendricks has actually just taken care of 2 of the big bats in the lineup for the Panners, Bazoian and Pinkston. Those are 2 of the most dangerous ones. Decker and Rogers are in on the infield. Here's the first pitch. Fastball inside and low, 1-0. He's from Indiana State. From Terry Hottie. I think it's Hottie. Have you ever heard this? Terry Hottie, Indiana. Terry Hot something?
No. Not familiar.
Terrehaute.
Sounds like Terry Hottie.
I've heard
Howdy?
Hot, though. 2-0, fastball in there, called strike to Hayes, 2-1. If anybody has heard of this Terry Hottie or Hot, whatever it is, Indiana, let us know. Send us an email or tweet at us or comment below. 2-1, fastball outside, 3-1. I have to say, I'm quite impressed with Hendricks tonight. I had a good feeling about his start, but he's been really much better than perhaps I had even thought he was going to be, and I thought he was going to be pretty good.
Yeah, this is good to see out of Hendricks, working towards the top of the World Series, and that number 2 game is still wide open for a pitcher, and I think Hendricks is making a name for himself here.
3-2, twisted in shallow left center. Panachone goes out a few steps, takes care of it for out number 3. 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Hendricks. It's no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. Still 4-1 Miners. We're through 4 in Fairbanks on the Matsu Miners Radio Network.
Top of the 5th inning in the Miners lead, 4-1, as Josh Meyer set to lead things off here. See Meyer, Frost, and Decker. Meyer 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the second, was walked in the third. First pitch by Benson, blown away, ball 1. Meyer walked in the 3rd inning, and then was the RBI and the Frost home run. 1-0 pitch is lined into left field. That's fair down the third base side. That hits the wall. Meyer rounds first, heads into second. The throw in from Hayes. It's over the head of the second baseman to the shortstop, and Meyer with a leadoff double.
Good piece of hitting from Josh Meyer, and tucked it just in that. I guess it landed fair and went to the left of the foul line. But good piece of hitting. Just jam it right in that spot in left field down the line. That's usually a double, even for someone with not a lot of speed like Meyer.
Brings up Cameron Frost, 2 for 2 with 2 home runs
in the game.
First pitch is low, ball 1.
Is he going to go for 3?
I think so. Why wouldn't he?
No. He's going to go for 3, but does he get 3?
Frost had a solo shot in the second inning, and then a 1-run home run with Meyer in the third. Open stance. 1-0 pitch. Little high, ball 2.
Yeah, for the majority of the season, we've seen Frost as the leadoff hitter, and then he went into a little bit of a slump. Then we saw him for, I think it was just one game as the 7 hitter, then up to the 5, and that 5 has really treated him well. I wonder how long, maybe until he's back that leadoff spot, or if this is where Ben Taylor wants to keep him.
2-0 by Benson, high and inside, ball 3. So I think if Frost can't hit a home run in this situation, I think he'll settle for the walk. I think he'll be okay with that.
Well, Benson really doesn't want to get another runner on, so I think he's probably going to throw a fastball right down the middle.
3-0 pitch. Called strike, kind of on the inside part of the plate. 3 balls, 1 strike. Frost steps out, now back into the box.
That's very common. When pitchers have that 3-0 count, maybe they take a little velocity off and just settle in and say, all right, strike. Gather their thoughts, and you don't want to walk them. That's what they do, I think.
Benson keeping an eye on Meyer with a lead off a second. 3-1 pitch over the plate. Strike two. Now full count for Cameron Frost.
Good job by Benson to work the count back. Exactly what you want to do as a pitcher.
Frost now with 5 home runs. Also has 10 doubles and 7 triples on the season. 3-2 pitch. Called strike 3, and Frost struck out looking. Second strikeout of the game for Benson. First out here in the top of the 5th, and that brings up Matthew Decker with 2 walks in the second and third innings. Scored in the second. Advanced to second base in the third inning off a wild pitch, but was left on. Decker steps into the batter's box. Little swing of his bat over the plate. Takes his traditional deep breath. Benson checks at second. Here's the pitch. Right over the plate, called strike 1.
Did you say traditional?
I'd say it's traditional.
I would say that's the perfect word.
Always takes a deep breath before he steps into the batter's box.
And he knows it, too. You mentioned that to him there, and he goes, yeah, I know.
Kind of clear your head. 0-1 pitch. Fouled on the first base side.
It's funny.
Strike 2.
It's funny. People always say to me, like, take a deep breath, and I do, and it never works.
Well, you have to, take a deep breath and
No.
kind of gather your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm too hard on myself, if you haven't learned that already.
0-2 count now for Decker. 2 home runs and 12 RBIs on the season. Meyer at second with the lead off of it. 0-2 pitch, check swing, and says he didn't go around. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Myers was halfway between for a second and third when he got the call. Now he's making his way back on second base.
One ball, 2 strikes to Decker. Here's the pitch by Benson. Swung on ground ball to the first baseman. Dives for it, picks it up, but can't make the play to first. His hat fell over his eyes. He couldn't see. So Decker reaches, and Meyer moves to third.
Seems like, of course, the Panners have. For some reason, I counted that there were errors. I don't know. They haven't made any errors, but unfortunate plays, and the Miners have found ways to get on base, and really the Panners have paid for it. And it's little things. It's always that big hit.
Brings up Terrence Conley. First pitch swung on and lifted into left field. Caught by Hayes, the left fielder. Meyer tags up, heads home. Here's the throw, and makes the 5th run of the game. Decker, of course, still at first, and Conley with the RBI sac fly.
Now, Meyer had a good jump from third, and the throw from Jacob Hayes in left field was pretty off target. And I think even if it was, I think Meyer was gonna beat it. He was pretty close, and he was hustling down that line.
Decker still at first, and the Miners lead now 5-1. Rogers at the plate. Had an RBI single in the second inning. First pitch crosses the plate, catches on that outside corner, called strike 1. Rogers sets, throw to first. Decker is safe. Benson keeping a close eye on the base runners here tonight. Oh, 1 pitch to Rogers. Another called strike. Just about the same pitch, but a little higher. Outfield playing straight away as along with the infield, except for the first baseman, Pinkston, foot on the bag, keeping an eye on Decker. 0-2 by Benson. Decker is off, and that's fouled off. Rogers still with the 0-2 count.
I'm really surprised, well, maybe not so surprised to see Decker off. He's shown that he's got a little bit more speed than maybe a typical catcher, more so than Josh Meyer, and more so than Mitchell now. But really, Decker's played more first base this summer by far than behind the plate.
No balls, 2 strikes to Jordan Rogers at the plate. There's the pitch, blown away, ball 1. Miners lead 5-1, top of the 5th inning. Meyer scored off of his leadoff double. Frost struck out, Decker with the single. Conley with the RBI sac fly, and Rogers at the plate with the 1-2 count. The pitch by Benson is lifted foul again. Count stays at 1 ball, 2 strikes.
We are picking up a lot of Twitter followers today.
That's exciting.
We're at 238 right now. I think I said we were at 235 at the start of the game, and 3's pretty good. What do we got? Anything fun?
I don't know. That's your side of the ballpark to keep an eye on.
Well, I was focusing on Twitter for a second.
Ground ball back to the mound, scooped up by Benson, the pitcher. Throw to first. That's a 1-3 put out to end the inning. But 1 run scores on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on. We are through 4.5. Miners lead 5-1. You are listening to the Matsu Miners Radio Network. Heading to the plate, Hunter Villanueva, the third baseman. Villanueva 1 for 1 with a single in the second inning and a stolen base. Hendricks still on the mound for the Miners, doing a great job. First pitch inside, ball 1, the fastball. Villanueva, 2 home runs, 15 RBIs, 1 double, 1 triple. Two balls, no strikes to the third baseman. Here's the pitch, lifted into right center field, charging is Frost. Gets under and makes the catch for out number 1. Brings up Mike Wheeland, 0 for 1 with a fly out to second baseman Terrence Conley. Wheeland doing the catching tonight for the Panners. Left-handed batter. First pitch by Hendricks, catches that outside part of the plate, but not a strike. Ball 1, 1 ball, no strikes. Wheeland holds his bat, his hands right about his ear. And the 1-0 pitch in there called strike 1. 1-1 pitch by Hendricks. High and inside, ball 2. And some little tidbits about the Panners. Over 200 Panners have reached Major League Baseball as players. Big names, Barry Bonds, Tom Seaver. 2-1 pitch right over the plate, called strike 2. Panners, of course, were the first team in the Alaska Baseball League.
If you haven't seen Touching the Game, it's a documentary on the Alaska Baseball League. It is a terrific film.
2-2 pitch by Hendricks, swing and a miss, but drop third strike. Meyer throws down to first, and 2 away with the third strikeout of the game for Hendricks.
You know, I really do like the film. I've actually seen it I've seen it
four or five times by now.
No, I've seen it 3 times. I saw it before you got here. I saw it with you when you got here, and then I saw it on the bus on the way back from Kenai, actually. Get to see Pete Christopher from 2006.
Along with Denise.
Who
was our pregame profile yesterday. Great interview with her. Just a lovely, lovely lady. 1-0 pitch. High and inside, but called strike to Mildenberg. Another interesting fact about the Panners over the years, 1,164 Panners have been drafted by the Major League Baseball. Isn't that incredible? 1-1 fouled back.
Yeah, it is pretty incredible. They just have a long history of success out here. And, you know, their ballpark, it's a little older. It's a little run down, but it's unique. And there's so much history, and that's what makes it special. I was really excited to see it.
Maybe antique?
Yeah, antique works.
1-2 pitch. Called strike 3. 3 up, 3 down inning again for Ryan Hendricks in the 4th strikeout of the night. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. As we head to the top of the 6th inning, the Miners lead 5-1. You're listening to the Mat-Su Miners Radio Network.
Dane Wonderlick coming to the plate as we start the top of the 6th here in Fairbanks. Miners lead the Panners 5-1. Austin Pollock with Emma Tiedemann to my right. Wonderlick stands in. He's 0 for 1. He grounded out to short in the 4th. Mike Benson back out there. His 3rd inning of work coming up here. First pitch to Wonderlick is swung on miss with a fastball, 0-1. Wonderlick again out of Rice University. 7 RBIs in his last 3 games entering tonight's contest. Benson sets, kicks, 0-1. Fastball right over the plate, 0-2. Wonderlick, Panichone, and Newell will bat here in the top of the 6th. 0-2 on Wonderlick. Here's the pitch. Twisting foul right side. Pinkston gives chase, puts the glove out, and the ball drops in. 1 away. Nice play by Tanner Pinkston, the first baseman.
Yeah, he, saw the ball and read it right and made the right path to the ball to make sure he was able to catch it. Good out there for Pinkston and Benson, the pitcher for the Panners.
Brings up Paul Panichone, 0 for 3, 2 pop outs and a strikeout. First pitch. Fastball, called strike. Panachon popped out to the second baseman Tyler Mildenberg in the fourth. Popped out to Tanner Pinkston at first in the second, struck out in the first. 0-1. Fastball, a little upstairs, let her high, 1-1. Cam Newell on deck. Ben Taylor was working with Newell on his stance and his swing in between innings. I had noticed that. That was at the end of the fourth. 1-1. Panachon fouls it right off over by the Panthers' third base dugout, 1-2. Off-speed pitch from Mike Benson out of the University of the Pacific. 1-2 pitch. High fly ball to deep left. Going back is Jacob Hayes in front of the track and reels it in for out number 2. Panachon now 0 for 4. That brings up Newell. I think what Ben Taylor was telling him was, again, keep your body firm. Don't spin around using your waist. Stay firm. He did single in the fourth inning.
But barely.
That barely,
throw was very, very close, and the Panthers fans were not happy with the call.
Good throw from the shortstop, Cody Nolf. And something that I find interesting is that Newell was 0 for 2 against the lefty, Valadez. Here's the first pitch. Swing and rocket, and almost reeled in by the first baseman, Pinkston, but he wins the foot race to the bag for out number 3. 1-2-3 inning for Mike Benson. And the Miners still lead the Panthers 5-1. We're through 5.5 on the Matsu Miners Radio Network. Scott Hurst to lead things off in the bottom of the 6th against Ryan Hendricks, who's been spectacular through his 5 innings. Hurst has been on base twice. He walked in the 3rd, was out on the double play, where Chris Paulino lined out to short and Panachon doubled him up at first. First pitch is fastball low and away to Hurst, ball 1. 1-0 pitch from Hendricks. Slapped foul left side and caught in the protective netting right by the third base bleachers. A fan jumps up for it, and a Panther is trying to get it. The Panther, Brandon Caruso. Outfielder out of Pepperdine. Pitch into Hurst is low and in for ball 2. 2-1 on Scott Hurst. 1, 2, and 3. Hurst, Chris Paulino, and Cody Nolf against Hendricks. No action in the Miners' bullpen. Glove over his face. Hendricks kicks, and here's his 2-1. Fastball upstairs, 3-1. Wunderlich playing deep in left. Rogers in. That third pitch is fastball little inside, and that is ball 4. Leadoff walk to Scott Hurst to start the 6th.
Hurst has reached base. The only times he's been at bat is the lead off an inning. All 3 times he's reached, but only once has scored.
Just 2 walks given up by by Hendricks, both to Hurst. Here's Chris Paulino lined into a double play in the third inning. Hendricks looks at first. Here's his pitch. Shows bunt, drops it down, but it's foul, third base side. Wind blowing out to center.
It's definitely died down, though.
Oh, yeah. There's a red bus in now left center field driving past the field. I've never seen a red school bus. Must be an Alaska thing. 0-1. Swing and a big cut by Paulino. 0-2. It was a fastball from Hendricks. Decker holding Hurst on at first. Meyer sets up outside. 0-2. Slapped left side. Wonderlic coming in. Makes the catch for a big out number one. Now Chris Paulino
Shortstop, Cody Knoll.
Chris Paulino now 0 for 2. Brings up Cody Nulp. He's 0 for 2. Runner at first is Scott Hurst. Hendricks looks over, delivers home. Fastball low and in, ball one. Hurst has stolen 4 bases. He's also been caught 4 times. 1-0 on Nulf. Nulf out of Orange Coast College. 1-0. Shopper left side. Shortstop Panchone takes on a hop, throws to Connolly at second for 1 on to first. Double play. Ryan Hendricks continues to be absolutely stellar through 6 innings. The Miners still lead 5-1. It's no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on. 5-1 Miners. We are through 6 on the Matsu Miners Radio Network. Ryan Hendricks just continues to deal to the Panners, and they can't really do much. Only 2 hits against Hendricks and 1 run, and Johnny Loker tries to get some insurance runs for Hendricks, and the first pitch to him is a high fly ball to deep left, but tailing foul, and lands in the Panners bullpen. Johnny is 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts, and he popped to third in the third. Miners hitters 1 through 3, just 1 for 11. Lone hit to Cam Newell, a single in the fourth. 0-1 on Loker. Open stance, here's the pitch. Swing, a high fly ball to deep left, and that tails just foul.
That's into the parking lot of the Fairbanks Curling Club, actually, into their little yellow flowers by the door, but that was foul just to the left by maybe a foot.
Now there's a biker who is passing by. He's going to look. He's going to try to find that foul ball, near home run ball. 0-2 to Loker. Chopper left side and foul just past the dive of Hunter Villanueva.
Ben Taylor thinks a little different about that call.
I'm watching that fan in left field. Did he just throw the ball back?
Oh, he's throwing it back.
There he goes.
He didn't make it.
He didn't make it.
I don't know if it crossed the field. I think
didn't.
he
It hit-
misjudged how far that is.
0-2 on Loker. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Tried to hold up but could not. And that's the third strikeout for Mike Benson. One out in the seventh. Brings up Josh Meyer. Meyer 1 for 2. He scored twice. Doubled in the fifth. Scored on a sacrifice fly by Terrence Connolly. And then walked and scored in the third on the 2-run shot by Cameron Frost. First pitch to Meyer. First pitch swing. Chopper over to Ben Taylor at third base. 0-1.
Trying to see if the guy on the bike is going to get back on right across the street and pick it up again.
That is a main road, but it doesn't appear to be too busy. Meyer with the gloves, about even with his helmet, 0-1. Popped up on the infield. Pinkston, it drifts out to the outfield, and Pinkston takes care of it for the second out. And the Miners' bats have really been good, especially in innings 1 through 5. But they've struggled a little bit, not as much offense against Mike Benson, more so against Jason Valadez. Brings up Cameron Frost, 2 for 3. Struck out his last time up, a 2-run home run in the third, a solo shot in the second. First pitch, fastball, low ball 1. It is 8:50 here in Alaska in the top of the 7th. Looks like there might be action in the Miners' bullpen. Isaiah Terrazas, 1-0, broken bat, weak liner to the right side. Second baseman Mildenberg throws to first, and it's 3 up, 3 down as we are through 6.5. 5-1 Miners as we head to the 7th inning stretch on the Matsu Miners Radio Network. Bottom of the 7th, Von Bazoian to lead things off, 4, 5, and 6. Then Tanner Pinkston and Jacob Hayes. Bazoian 0 for 2. 2 ground outs to the third baseman, Jordan Rogers. Ryan Hendricks back out there for his 7th inning of work. He's been really, really strong through 6. Right now, certainly making a solid case to be our player of the game. Here's the first pitch to Bazoian. Swing out liner, coming in as Wunderlich. He dives and makes the catch. Bazoian can't believe it. What a catch from Dane Wunderlich in left.
Wonder like that, very athletic outfielder and can make those big plays and just read that line drive, and it was a line drive out to left field, made that diving catch and one away.
It was hit very hard. And here's Tanner Pinkston. He's 0 for 2. Panners with just 2 hits. First pitch is a fastball low and away, ball 1. I like that. Tanner the Panner.
Sounds like Meyer the Miner.
Liner up the middle, a base hit through the hole between the shortstop and second baseman. So that's a 1-out base hit just as soon as I say there are only 2 hits for the Panners. Sometimes I just need to stop talking. But sometimes it's part of the job.
It is.
It's part of the job. You
and
just,
one of the greats doesn't believe in it. Vince Scully doesn't believe in, the no-hit jinx and stuff like that.
I think sometimes it's just you got a job to do. It's unfortunate sometimes, but it is what it is. So now Pinkston on first with 1 out for Jacob Hayes. First pitch, fastball, missed a little low, ball 1. Pinkston, 3 steals, has not been caught. Big guy though, 6'6". 1-1. Lifted left side, foul out of play, 1-1. During the 7th inning stretch, I didn't hear "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." I heard something else. I don't know what that was.
Hubba 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 song.
Whatever that is. And I actually, we were looking down and we saw pretty much the entire Miners dugout, including Ben Taylor. Taylor was doing it, sort of clapping his hands all the way from the third base coaching box. Runner at first is off. Throw from Meyer. The catch by Panachone. The tag. They got him. Excellent throw from Meyer. Excellent tag by Panachone. Just a picture-perfect caught stealing right there. And now there's 2 down. 1-2 the count on Jacob Hayes. Pitch was a strike, and now 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Chopper right side and just foul. Still 1-2.
Well, and on the drive up here, you were kind of in the back of the bus. I was in the front. Ben Taylor was singing that song the entire ride up.
Was he
He
really?
was so excited to listen to the song because this song is unique to Fairbanks. This is, they play it every 7th inning stretch. And then on the way here, he was starting to sing it, and our bus driver sang you could actually understand the lyrics.
1-2 upstairs, fastball 2-2.
And those lyrics, oh goodness, oh yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
It's a very, very unique song. And Brad Baker has it on, he said he bought it off of iTunes.
2-2. Weak ground ball, right side, charging is Connolly, scoops it and fires a strike to first. And it turns out to be a 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Hendricks. Boy, he has been beyond strong through these 7 innings. Miners still lead 5-1. We head to the 8th on the Matsu Miners Radio Network.
Due up for the Miners, Matthew Decker, Terrence Conley, and Jordan Rogers, the first, second, and third baseman. Matthew Decker walked in the second, walked in the third, and had a single in the 5th, but was left on base.
Ryan Oglesby is starting to warm in the Miners bullpen. I think we'll see him for the 8th. And then probably Vince Arobia for the 9th right now.
First pitch swung on line into left field. That gets down, and Matthew Decker with a leadoff single here on the top of the 8th.
He's been on base all 4 times. 2 walks in his first 2 at-bats. Now 2 straight singles.
Now the leadoff batter at first base, and Terrence Conley, second baseman, at the plate. Conley, the lefty out of UNC Wilmington, steps in. Very wide open stance. Waves the bat. Pitcher checks on first. First pitch, Conley shows bunt, pulls back. Called strike. Conley with 7 RBIs, 3 doubles on the season. Had a single in the second and a RBI sac fly in the 5th. No balls, 1 strike. Miners lead 5-1 over the Panners. Swing and a miss, strike 2 by Conley.
Terrence hit a couple home runs during batting practice to right field, and I think he actually hit one opposite field to left as well. We haven't seen a home run to left.
Since when?
I don't think we haven't seen a home run to left here.
Oh, in this game.
No,
Right.
we have not. A little surprising.
0-2 pitch to Conley, inside, ball 1.
I think the home plate umpire, Tim Davis, maybe thought about that one.
Mike Benson still on the mound for the Panners. Outfield playing straight away, and the center fielder Hurst maybe playing a couple feet to our left. Benson sets. Looks over his shoulder at first. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Foul out of play. Stays alive with the 1-2 count. And that bounces and then bounces behind the stands. Kids chasing it.
It maybe turns out to be a bigger crowd than we had seen early on. I don't think there's really assigned seating here. I mean,
Oh, there is.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, there's signs, and I think there's assigned areas more so than seating.
Okay.
Because see, over there, inside ball 2, over there it says reserve seat tickets. And then the ones below us, I believe, are also reserved, and there's also like reserved just for the Midnight Sun
Yeah,
game.
that's kind of cool because they got a lot of people here.
Packed. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the lefty, Terrence Conley. Matthew Decker with a lead off of first. Benson sets. Here's the pitch. Swung on and another foul back.
You know, I've really been told, I guess, before I got here that people in Alaska, what they'll pretty much do in the summer is fish, hunt, or go to a baseball game, or go fishing and hunting maybe during the day and go to the Midnight Sun game in Fairbanks at night. It took us 7, but 6 hours from Palmer.
2-2 pitch, outside, ball 3. Now full count for Conley.
Now some people may be wondering what about Kenai, where it's 4 hours south of Palmer? That's what, a 10-hour drive from Kenai up here. Now what usually happens is they're just long road trips, like a week.
Tomorrow is the last home game here for the Panners. 3-2 pitch, low ball 4. Conley with the walk, and that is the first walk of the night for Benson. That moves Decker to second base.
Speaking of walks, we've talked about it so many times and just how crucial it is for command to be right on for the Miners pitching staff. And they had come into this game with the second most walks at 154. The Bucks were first. And the control tonight has been really good. The last 2 or 3 starts, it's been really, really good. 3 starts, actually.
First pitch to Jordan Rogers, swing and a miss, strike 1. Rogers with an RBI single in the second inning, then grounded out in the 3rd and 5th out of the University of Tennessee. Decker with a lead off of second, and Conley with the lead off of first. Shows bunt, pulls back, takes it as ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Rogers. Nobody out here in the top of the 8th. Miners lead 5-1 over the Panners, and Vincent doing some signs with Mildenberg. Benson looks in, Rogers calls time, and learned from Josh Meyer that sometimes when the pitchers look out for their second baseman, if there's a runner on second, the runner can tell the batter the signs that the catcher is giving the pitcher to throw. Benson, the 1-1 pitch, low and away, ball 2.
Yeah, I'm really interested, and I was interested in this last summer on the Cape. There are a lot of Massachusetts players, obviously. I mean, it's close, but it's the same state. But here, there are quite a few Alaska players. Each team probably has about 1 or 2, maybe even, I think 2 is the max. But nobody really east of New York.
2-1 pitch, lifted into center field. Hurst goes back for it, under it, makes the catch. Decker tags up at second, runs into third. Conley tags up at first, heads into second. And now Rogers with the fly out to center field, but Decker at third and Conley at second.
It's pretty rare, actually, to see on a play like that, perhaps the runner at first base tag up and go to second, just because it's a shorter throw from the outfield than to try to get a guy at third.
Well, I think that's why he kind of hesitated to wait for the center fielder Hurst to throw into third.
Well, you usually
to make
wait
the throw.
You usually wait for it. And sometimes when you wait for it, there's not enough time, and it's usually too late. But great heads-up play by Terrence Connolly as well. Great coaching from Ben Taylor.
That brings up Dane Wunderlich. Walked in the second, grounded out the fourth, flew out in the sixth. Right-handed batter with the open stance. Pitch outside, ball 1. Benson sets. Infield plane in. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Painters infielders Villanueva, Nulf, Mildenberg, and Pinkston all playing in, hoping to force this play at home, first base, either one. Benson sets. Look at third. 1-1 pitch, inside, ball 2.
Infield in.
Two balls, 1 strike to Wunderlich. Swung on and lifted into center field. Going back for it is Hurst. Under it makes the catch, and the runners tag up. Decker scores the 6th run of the game, and Conley moves to third. And Wunderlich with the sac fly. RBI sac fly. Back to the top of the order with Paul Panachone. First pitch is a little low, ball 1. One-0 pitch outside, ball 2. Miners lead 6-1 now, top of the 8th. Conley with a lead off of third. Decker scored off the sac fly by Wunderlich.
Pete Christopher, he's made the trip to Fairbanks. I can see him almost near that Miners dugout wearing his green jacket. He's got to be happy tonight.
Benson with a deep breath on the mound. Pitch swung on and lifted deep into right field. Going back for it is Polino. Makes the catch and actually drops it. It's at the wall. Panachone rounds first, heads to second. That's an RBI double with Conley scoring. So Polino, the right fielder, tried to make the catch over his shoulder, but couldn't make the play, and the ball rolled and hit the wall in right field, and Paul Panachone's speed helped him get to second, and Conley scored.
I didn't even see him drop it, but most of those ads out there on the right field wall are white, so they mix with the ball, and you know me. I have a hard time with that. I'm even wearing glasses.
I know, I'm wearing my glasses tonight, too. It's a little high up here.
Yeah, that could be it, too.
Cam Newell at the plate. Takes first pitch high and inside, ball 1.
But I think that being as high as we are up here right now, I think you get a better view of the outfield. But at home, I feel like I would really have screwed that up.
Out the right field side.
Yeah.
Yep. 1 ball, no strikes to Newell. Benson with an eye on second. 1-0 pitch inside, but called strike.
9:08 in Alaska here in the top of the 8th. And it's still bright. I hear that, from what I understand, it's the brightest, the longest here, and it's also the darkest, the longest in the winter.
1-1 pitch, called strike. Yeah, it gets dark. It stays darker longer over the winter. The further north you go, but at the same time during the summer it stays lighter longer. I think there's even one part in Alaska that stays dark for like a week straight or something like
That's
that.
Cool.
I think it was Keith Christopher explaining how that all how that all works. The 1-2 pitch is a little inside, but called strike 3 for Cam Newell. That is the 4th strikeout of the night for Mike Benson of the Goldpanners. But 2 runs score on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on. So we head to the top of the ninth. The bottom of the 8th. The Miners lead 7-1. You're listening to the Matsu Miners Radio Network. Bottom of the 8th, and the Miners lead 7-1 here in Fairbanks. Due up for the Panners, 7, 8, and 9. Hunter Villanueva, Mike Wheeland, and Tyler Mildenberg. Villanueva at the plate. First pitch by the new pitcher, Ryan Oglesby, a little outside, ball 1. And Hendricks, outstanding through 7 innings pitch. Gave up 3 hits, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks, and only 1 run.
Yeah, the 2 walks. That's the biggest thing.
1-0 pitch, a little low and outside, ball 2 by Oglesby.
Ryan, or also nicknamed Luigi, 2-0 with a 4.05 ERA. This is his 12th appearance, last pitched last night against the Pilots. He up 1 hit, 2-run home run to Michael Perry.
2-0 pitch right over the plate for strike 1.
He's given up 4 hits in his last 2 1/3 innings pitched, and he will be tomorrow's Throwback Thursday.
2-1, lifted into shallow right center. Broken bat, Conley catches it. 1 away.
Oglesby's struck out 10 and 13 1/3. He's given up 12 hits and walked 7. We're still trying to figure out a name for this delivery. I guess you could call it. John Boyer was telling me, my roommate actually, while we're here in Fairbanks, was actually telling me that it's pretty much 3/4.
First pitch to Mike Wheelan, the catcher. Little inside, ball 1.
He was pregame profile recently. I think it was 2 days ago, yesterday. No, 2 days
2
ago, because
days.
yesterday was Denise Christopher.
1-0 pitch. Swung on, fouled on the third base side. Now 1-1 count.
He's such a nice kid.
He is. He's always smiling, kind of quiet, but very nice guy.
Everyone seems to like him, too. They love his nickname.
Yeah, that caught on quickly. 1-1 pitch, inside, ball 2.
Yeah, part of it is like you forget actually like kind of what his real name is. I mean, we know it's Ryan Oglesby, but in a way, it's walking around or being with the team. It's kind of like, oh wait, his name's Ryan.
2-1 pitch, fouled on the third base side.
Like I have nicknames at school, and part of the time I sort of forget that. I sometimes think, do they even know what my real name is?
2 balls and 2 strikes to Mike Wieland. Pitch. Guess it was a little low. Now full count to Wieland. Three-two pitch. Swung on, chopper fouled on the first base side. Stays alive with the 3-2 count. Wieland with 3 home runs, 15 RBIs, 6 doubles. Catcher tonight for the Panners. Three-two pitch, outside, ball 4. Brings up Tyler Mildenberg, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. I do kind of like this music.
I do.
Here
It's pretty good.
Fairbanks.
I have an interesting statistic about the Miners, but
I know what you're going to say
yeah, I'm not going to share it. I'll tell you during
after
the break.
game.
During the break, and then we'll discuss about whether it's maybe not appropriate, but whether I should say it or not.
Because we've had some issues with Austin jinxing quite a few plays.
Yeah. Should I say? I could say it after the game.
After the game, you can
We could
say
do
it.
that. Okay. So hang on, stick with us for the Matsu Miners post-game show brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. You'll hear this little interesting stat I have. I did remember to update it.
1 ball, no strikes to Mildenberg. Wieland on first with a lead. Decker covering first base. 1-0 pitch, inside, ball 2.
Is that what you were thinking?
Yeah.
Okay. I pointed to it. Emma says she knows.
2-0 pitch, fouled back.
There are a lot of bugs here, too. A lot of little... Are these mosquitoes, or what are these things?
Mosquitoes.
Okay.
Yeah. 2 balls, 1 strike. Pitched by Oglesby, a little outside, ball 3.
They're little mosquitoes. They're not very big.
3-1 pitch. Outside, ball 4. That's 2 walks in a row by Oglesby. Wieland moves to second, and Mildenberg at first. Back to the top of the order with Scott Hurst.
The center fielder, Scott Hurst.
And pitching coach Brad Baker heading out to the mound to talk things over with his pitcher Oglesby. And one of my favorite songs, Walking After Midnight, Patsy Cline. A classic.
I saw you look that up, though,
I know, I had to make sure it was Patsy Cline. I didn't want to embarrass myself.
like I did earlier.
I knew it was her, but I wanted to double check.
Let's talk a little bit about Ryan Hendricks. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. He was really good. The Miners needed something like this out of him.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, going through this last kind of week and a half stretch of games, it's important to have that side of their game kind of nailed down and a little more confident. They have the bats. They're pretty good right now. They're hitting, scoring runs with good run support. And I think the pitching is, kind of the thing that was a little, not worrisome, but going into the top of the World Series, that's kind of the thing that was like, okay, well, if there's one part of the minors game that people should be aware of, it's the pitching. Oglesby with the first pitch to Hurst, and they're called strike. Oglesby looks into his catcher Meyer. 0-1 pitch, low and outside, ball one.
Got people on Twitter asking where I'm from in Massachusetts. I am from about 15 minutes outside of Boston.
One pitch, low and away, ball two.
I was saying earlier I've completely forgot that I didn't finish one of the things I was talking about. I think that was in the top of the 8th when the Miners had scored 2 runs.
2-1 pitch, swung on, lifted, fouled on the third base side.
It was that I don't think I've seen any players who are from east of New York. And Terrence Connolly, he's from New York, just around, I guess, on Long Island, but I haven't seen anybody from New England. That's east of New York.
2-2 pitch. Strike 3 by Ryan Oglesby. And like half cheers, half jeers here on that call. First strikeout of the game for Ryan Oglesby, and that brings up Chris Polino. He's had 2 lineouts his last 2 at-bats. I think people forget what's east of New York because, New York is kind of the draw of the Northeast.
That's fair.
Pitch a little outside to Paulino, ball one.
Don't forget about us, good old people from New England. We are very nice people. We like baseball. We have a team that just won the World Series, but struggling right now.
1-0 pitch, foul back, strike 1.
There's something that I'm noticing here is with the lefty at the plate, and yes, here we go. With a lefty at the plate, look at all of that space in left center. Excuse me, in right center.
1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2 to Paulino. Paulino had a stolen base in the first inning. Has 4 home runs, 19 RBIs, and 5 doubles. 340 average. 1-2 pitch, inside, ball 2.
I've also been noticing that a lot of these Panners have hit streaks entering tonight's game, and they're pretty impressive. And right now I'm looking.
2-2 pitch, lifted, third base side, foul.
3 of them, maybe 4. I'm trying to figure this out. 1, 2. Yeah, 3 of them are in jeopardy, and 1 of them is really in jeopardy. Cody Nolf started with a 19-game hit streak.
Wow, that's impressive.
He is 0 for 3.
2-2 pitch, outside, ball 3, full count. Three balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, lifted, foul. I think
You've been looking down there a couple times.
I know, because there have been some very loud fans, and they've caught on, I believe, to the Luigi nickname. And so now they're all cheering for Luigi.
Well, they can't hear us, can they?
No.
Okay.
3-2 pitch, swung on ground ball to the first baseman, Matthew Decker. Takes it himself to the bag, and that ends the inning. And Luigi, Ryan Oglesby, gets out of a jam. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 left on as we head to the top of the 9th inning. The Miners lead 7-1. You're listening to the Matsu Miners Radio Network. We will see Loker, Meyer, and Frost here in the top of the ninth. The Miners lead 7-1. And new pitcher on the mound for the Panners, Andrew Bueller. Loker steps on the batter's box, into the batter's box, has 3 strikeouts and a flyout. First pitch by Bueller inside, ball 1.
Andrew Bueller played on the Panners in 2013. Got the last out in the championship game.
1-0 pitch inside, ball 2.
Closed the door on the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, according to his bio on the Panners website.
2-0 pitch to Loker, swung on, ground ball to the shortstop. Nolf scoops it up, throw to first. 1 out.
Rough day for Johnny. 0 for 5.
Brings up Josh Meyer, the Miner. Struck out in the second inning, walked and scored a run in the third. Had a leadoff double in the fifth and scored a run. And had a fly out in the seventh. Steps in the batter's box. First pitch by Bueller, swing and a miss, strike 1. Meyer.
Bueller 1-2 with a 4.19 ERA on the summer. He has 1 save, and he's given up 23 hits in 19 1/3 innings.
Swing and a miss, strike 2 by Mueller. Meyer, combining the names now.
He last pitched July 13th against the Pilots, went 2 2/3, gave up a hit and a run. It was earned. Walked 2, didn't strike anybody out.
0-2 pitch is inside and in the dirt, ball 1. Outfield playing straight away for Meyer. So is the infield. Nobody on, 1 out. Loker grounded out to the shortstop. Bueller sets. There's the 1-2, very outside, ball 2.
Reminder to hang with us for the Matsu Miners postgame show, brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. We are on the road, but staying in Fairbanks, but do travel with the team, so it will be a quick show.
Swung on, ground ball through the gap between second and third. That gets into left field, and a single for Josh Meyer, the Miner.
Good piece of hitting from Meyer, just snuck it in through that gap between the shortstop and the third baseman. And that's the second time he's hit the ball really well tonight. 2 hits. Hit it well both times.
That brings up Cameron Frost. Talk about a guy who's been hitting it well tonight. 2 home runs with a strikeout in the 5th and a ground out in the 7th. First pitch by Bueller in there, called strike.
Send in those player of the game votes as well. Tweet at us at ABL Miners or send us an email.
0-1 pitch. Twisted. Just fouled on the first base side.
Well, that looked pretty good.
No, that was definitely foul.
I mean, I don't know. That looked pretty good.
It looked like initially when it came off his bat.
When it came off his bat, I thought it
looked-
was really foul, and then I saw it land, and I was like, maybe could have gone either way.
See, I think I saw it totally different. Came off his bat, and I thought it was fair, but he twisted it around and it dropped foul. 0-2 pitch, a little low, ball 1. Excuse me,
That's strike
that's
3.
called strike 3. So Frost with the first strikeout by the hand of Bueller. That's 2 away here in the top of the 9th. Brings up Matt Decker. Decker has reached base in all 4 appearances at the plate. First pitch by Bueller is outside, ball 1. Meyer still at first with a lead. Reached on his single. Loker grounded out. Frost just struck out. 1-0 pitch, lifted deep in the left. Going backward is Hayes. Makes the catch for out number 3. So head to the bottom of the 9th inning. And the Miners lead 7-1. You are listening to the Matsu Miners Radio Network. Bottom of the ninth, and the Miners lead 7-1. I'm Emma Tiedemann alongside Austin Pollock. See number 3, 4, and 5 here in the bottom of the ninth for the Panners. Isaiah Terrazas on the mound for the Miners. Cody Nolf at the plate for the Panners. 0 for 3. First pitch, little outside, ball 1.
Terrazas 1-1 with a 3.75 ERA. He's pitched in 8 games.
1-0 pitch. Swung on, lined, fouled on the third base side. Strike 1.
Last pitch July 10th against the Chinooks. Win an inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Has not given up a hit his last 2 2/3.
1-1 pitch just barely gets him. Almost hits him, but called ball 2 instead.
We have 1 vote for Ryan Hendricks, player of the game. And we're just catching up on Twitter now. Someone still wants to know exactly where I'm from. I am from Newton, which is about 15 minutes outside of Boston. So keep on voting for that player of the game. Tweet at us at ABL Miners. Send us an email, matsuminersbroadcast@gmail.com. Or comment below.
2-1 pitch. Swung on, ground ball to the shortstop. Panachone makes the play to first in time. 1 out.
And if that was Cody Nolf, which indeed it was, that makes him 0 for 4. And if that's his last at bat, that hit streak is over. And that was a 19-game hit streak.
That brings up Vaughn Bazoian, also 0 for 3. First pitch by Terrazas in there, called strike. Bazoian with 7 home runs, 28 RBIs, 9 doubles. Not able to get on base here. 0-1 pitch, low and away, ball 1.
31 viewers right now. Stay with us for the post-game show. It'll be a quick one, but we'll tell you who our player of the game is, and we'll break this one down.
1-1 pitch, low and away, ball 2.
And we are at 238 Twitter followers.
We haven't gained any since the beginning of the game.
The second inning.
2-1 pitch, swung on, ground ball into center field. And Bazoian with the single.
Well, Bazoian was in danger of snapping his hit streak. His was at 10 games. He has now extended that to 11.
That brings up Tanner Pinkston. 1 for 3 with a strikeout, a ground out, and a single in the 7th inning, but was caught stealing second base.
Miners pitchers have only given up 4 hits. That's pretty good.
Miners have hit 10 times. First pitch, right over the plate, called strike one to Pinkston.
You know, really, something I noticed when these pitchers made their first appearance, Terrazas, Oglesby, Reed, and Matthew Decker, they seem very uncomfortable. But they have all since then really, really calmed down.
Yeah, and I think that's with all of the pitchers. You know, I feel like we said that, you know, their second outings, said that their first outings they look uncomfortable, but now, you know, 2 weeks left in the season, you hope that they're comfortable on that mound, and a lot of them are. All of them are, seems like. 0-2 pitch, ripped foul, stays alive for the 0-2 count. No balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out here in the bottom of the ninth. The Miners lead 7-1. Terrazas sets. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. And the Miners now just 1 out away from winning the first game of the series.
And it's a big game. We had talked about how it's a tough stretch coming up, and getting a win against the Panthers. These players know, everyone really knows, the Panthers are good. You can't count them out. They're really a strong team, and they can hit. But, you know, Miners are right up there with them.
Jacob Hayes at the plate. 0 for 3 with 2 flyouts and a ground out. Center fielder tonight.
You know, and I really think back, just about every game, I think back to what Ben Taylor said right around early July. This is when you know if you're good or not.
1-0 pitch, right over the plate, called strike 1.
Contenders or pretenders. And right now, serious contenders.
Definitely. Terrazas sets for the 1-1 pitch. Delivers a little low, ball 2. Hayes taps the home plate with his bat. Sets. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swung on, foul. Evens the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
We've seen a lot of foul balls just to our left. Just to our left. Not
I'm ready.
One has not come into the press box.
Meanwhile, a seagull literally flew into the stadium lights. I don't know if you saw that, but it
hit
flew
and fall down?
and hit it. Fell down but caught itself. It's off flying away. But
Oh, no.
I don't know. I was looking at that foul ball and I saw that. 2-2 pitch inside. Full count now to Hayes.
Hayes hitless tonight. He had a 10-game hitting streak coming into this game.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the ninth, the Miners lead 7-1. Here's the pitch. Runner goes. Lifted into foul territory. On the third base side, Rogers gives chase, and it falls between Rogers, Wunderlich, and Panachone.
Everyone had to come a long way for that one. Sometimes, like, hey, just let it go, and you know you've got 2 strikes on them and 2 outs. That one was one. They gave it their all. They really did. But there's quite a bit of foul territory here in Fairbanks. Not like there is in Palmer. There's a lot in Palmer.
So Hayes
A lot in Chugiak, too.
Hayes with the 3-2 count still. Here's the pitch. Low and away, ball 4. First walk by Terrazas. Second base runner of the bottom of the ninth. That moves Bezoe into second. And Villanueva at the plate.
That brings up the third baseman, Hunter Villanueva.
Villanueva 1 for 3. And a stolen base tonight. Terrazas sets. First pitch called strike right over the plate, fastball.
I'm pleased to announce that I am also at 285 followers. I've gained about 100 since I've been here.
Terrazas sets for the 0-1. Pitch, same pitch, right over the plate, strike 2. Villanueva steps in, open stance. Terrazas sets. Here's the 0-2. Low and away, ball 1.
Yeah, Panthers aren't going away so quickly with They've got a single from Bozoe and the strikeout of Pinkston, and now the walk. They've got 2 on with 2 outs. They don't go away so easily.
Terrazas has a sign for Meyer. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, fouled on the first base side.
7-1 in the bottom of the ninth. Miners lead the Panners.
Villanueva at the plate. Bozoian on second. Hayes at first. Both have a lead off their bases. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, ground ball to the second baseman. Conley charging. Throw to first. That's out number 3. And the final from Fairbanks is 7-1. Miners win the first of this 2-game series between the Goldpanners. Again, that final is 7-1. We'll take a short break and bring you the Napa Auto Parts post-game show. We'll be back right after this.
All right, we got that figured out. Our player of the game, Ryan Hendricks, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Emma, it was really an offensive attack early, 4 runs in the first 3 innings, 1 in the 5th and 2 in the 8th. But the Miners got run support for Ryan Hendricks, and really well deserving of that player of the game. Cameron Frost also could have been player of the game. Same for Matthew Decker, but Hendricks, it's about pitching against such a very talented Panners lineup, and he's beyond just well-deserving. He's so well-deserving of this.
Oh, yeah, and he's showed a lot of improvement throughout the season also. And, when you're down in the stretch, all these games matter. That they can afford to lose 1 or 2, but not any more than that. And Hendricks came out, did his job, knew the position that the Miners were in with this game, and was able to pitch for the win.
Well, it's important that they keep their heads in there. They got 1 more against the Panners. This is a big win for them. They've won now. I'm trying to remember exactly what it is. I think it's 3 in a row. 2 against the Pilots, and now here in Fairbanks. And it's really a big win because the Panners are a really strong team. And Hendricks came out and gave them a really, really good, strong, solid chance to win. And I think this is a momentum builder for them, and we'll see what it's like after the game. We'll see what that momentum's like, and I think they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves and their chances the rest of the way.
Yeah, and like I said, the past few games, they need a little bit more than just the win of the momentum. They need big hits, such as by Cameron Frost. They need the pitching by Stubblefield, by Hendricks, and I think that those little extra things, those big plays within the games, I think really help with that momentum.
All right, so as we said, we're going to keep it short. Got to get going, but a 7-1 win for the Miners over the Alaska Goldpanners of Fairbanks. Such a big win for the Miners, and they're going to look to stay hot when they come in tomorrow. A 5 o'clock start here in Fairbanks against the Panners. We'll be with you at 4:45 for the Matsu Miners pregame show, brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. For Emma Tiedemann, I'm Austin Pollock. Once again, the final score: the Miners come into Fairbanks and take Game 1 of a 2-game set, 7-1. We will see you tomorrow night.